What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Have You Nerd. Today I finally got in my Inkblot from 5K Toys, which is Rorschach from The Watchmen. So this is 1/12 scale Rorschach or Inkblot, whatever you want to call them. The packaging is actually pretty good. The embossed card over there, it's like different cardboard embossed right into the packaging. I thought that was pretty dope, the way he's holding the card over his face. Looks like his mask. I mean, for a third-party toy, the box art and design is pretty well done. For a third-party toy in general, this is just a great overall figure. So here's everything in his plastic in. You get the Rorschach, 3 Rorschach heads in his fedora, and he comes with his non-masked head on there. So you get 4 heads in total, and you get all his accessories there. I believe 8 different hands in total. Yeah, 8 different hands, including the 2 fists that are on him, and a bunch of other stuff that is related to the character and the movie. So, I mean, the accessories are pretty dope. They're all, again, relate to the character. They're not just thrown in because the company already has the mold and they just make it in a different color plastic and throw it in with the next figure. I'm not naming any names. Hasbro. I mean, I'm not really going to compare these with the lower end. This was almost $100 figure, and I will go over all the accessories in a second individually. Like here, you have the lapel rose, so everything is well crafted, well sculpted. The cleaver here looks great. The paint apps are really good. They even painted the 2 screws on the handle, which, like, you would never see that in a Marvel Legend or any of those. And the way the silver metallic gradient's darker as you go back towards the handle, the red just on the blade. Obviously, the most iconic, the button, the way it has the sheen and the blood on it, like the real nice clear coat they put over it, and they even sculpted in the pin on the back. So they went all out with the detail. The clear coat really makes that button shine and pop. Then you got the hairspray here. I love that it says Super Hold on it. It's like so 80s. And the purple and gold, I keep wanting to say Vought colors, like the company from The Boys, but his company's called Veet, Ozymandias' company. And then here, the grappling hook in all its little bits and bobs. So you got the grappling hook here you put on the end of the gun that's not opened. You have the one that's open there. So you could see that the unopened one is just a shell or a firing canister or whatever with the grappling hooks, the 3 prongs around it. And again, it's well sculpted. You could tell what everything is. And here you have it actually firing from the barrel. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. And it's got this wire here. And I believe you could bend the wire. I didn't try to bend mine. I like the shape that it's in. It's obviously in that classic, like, kind of cartoonish, I guess, like zigzag way when it's firing. And you can see that little pinhole on the bottom of the open hook there, and you just plug that wire right in there, and it's that simple. And then here you have the gun. Again, very nice, nicely painted. There's a little silver on my gold trigger. I don't know if you could see that, but other than that, I mean, it's metallic. The handle looks good. Everything looks great. And you can see the key hole in the front there where the barrel just plugs in, and it's that simple. And then this was a really cool accessory. This was one of my favorites, is the lighter with the flame effect attached to it. That's really clever, really dope, well done. I mean, just a cool accessory. And you could see if you put any LED behind it or anything, it really, like, makes it pop and come to life on another level. I don't know exactly how you would want to arrange that in your display, but it could be done in any translucent plastic. Looks dope with LEDs behind it. And then lastly, you have the diary, the journal, whatever you want to call it, Rorschach's journal, 1984 to 1985 on it. Nice leather bound looking book. It looks legit with the rubber band around it. Alright, now you get the 6 pair of hands, and you get this hand which holds the lighter, like, perfectly. That's well done. You get the trigger finger hand here for the grappling gun, which again holds the grappling gun great. Well done. You get these 2 C-shaped hands, but the C-shaped hands are very small, and I don't really see one to hold the hairspray, and you would want the finger kind of, a trigger finger up with the up hook for the hairspray, but you don't really get a hairspray hand, so you kind of have to fudge that. That's very annoying. And here's the grappling hook. You just insert it into the pinhole like I was showing earlier on the actual hook. It's that simple, and it looks really good. The effect is well done, and you'll see later they give you this really long piece of wire too that can extend the grappling hook to shoot really far if you want to choose that or need that for some photos, whatever. And then there's the keyhole, and then there's the key on the bottom of the barrel, and again, that just plugs right in there. And then you have your fully assembled grappling hook, and again, looks great, looks dope. I love the firing effect. I love almost everything about this figure. Like, the little bit of messed up paint on my trigger on my gun, and them not including the hairspray hand is a big one. But other than that, those are really my only 2 gripes with this figure. I mean, look at how cool that looks. And I just wish they put that hairspray hand, like imagine your hand holding a aerosol can the way you spray it, with your finger curled up almost like a trigger finger but pointed up. They should have added a hand like that and would have been perfect. And here's that long wire I was telling you about, the grappling hook wire. Real metal. I'm sure you can bend it any which way you want. It's basically like tie wire you would use to tie other crafts or whatever up. So yeah, it's that arts and crafts wire that you buy pretty much, so you can bend it any which way, I'm sure, but I just keep it in that classic grappling hook design. And here is piece de la resistance, whatever that saying is, I don't fucking know. This guy, the Inkblot right here, I mean, that head sculpt is amazing. Like, they nailed this head sculpt. It in a 1/12 scale. This is 1/12 scale, and it's 1/6 quality. The scrapes, the bruises, the facial hair is like better than a lot of 1/6 scale I've seen. Maybe not the hair, but the facial hair is great. The tailoring is great. The jacket's really nice. Those are just like molded plastic buttons onto there, but I mean, the shoes, look at the way the shoes got the little speckles of dirt. All the paint apps are really great on this figure. I really am feeling this figure. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. The pants are nice material. Look at the seam, nice and straight. Looks legit. The jacket doesn't look bulky and weird and doll-like, basically, at all. And they put wire in the jacket belt, so I had a brain fart there again, couldn't think of the word, but yeah, they put the wire, posable wire, in the jacket belt, so you can have that blowing in the wind. And you take the jacket off here, it's got a Velcro strap underneath the buttons. Again, the tailoring and the quality and the look of this jacket is great. And then, but underneath, doesn't look so great, I'm not gonna lie. Like, once you take the jacket off, the shirt is this weird, like, 1800s pirate shirt, and it's not sewn up, just open in the middle. and you can see the body underneath. There's no paint or anything at all on the body. He's meant to be wearing his jacket at all times. So, I mean, the cloth quality and the way it's sewn and looks on the character looks great, but it's just odd the way that pirate shirt looks. Like, if you didn't have the scarf there to cover it and the jacket to cover it, you would see that hole even with the jacket on if the scarf wasn't there. And I don't know, just an odd choice of a shirt. Like, is that what Rorschach wore? I doubt it, but yeah. The articulation is actually pretty great, too. I mean, I cannot complain. The arm goes up to at least 90. You can get it higher if it weren't for the jacket, and you don't want to tear the seam underneath, so you don't want to stretch the jacket out and tear that seam, but it can get up at least past 90. The arm gets up, pretty much touches there. The leg gets up pretty high, and the pants don't restrict the leg as much as like the jacket restricted the arm to get up to 90 or higher. So I mean, you can get it up to 90 degrees. There is a little restriction in the pants maybe, but I didn't want to tear my pants, but there's not a ton of restriction. You could probably push it and not worry about it tearing, is what I'm saying. And then the knees get up well past 90, like, so, yeah. The articulation is pretty dang good on this guy. And, I mean, it's Rorschach. He's not doing flips and all this crazy contortionist stuff, so you don't really need him for all that articulation posing-wise, necessarily, but it's nice to have it. It's always nice to have more than you may need for that character, the way most people would display him. And then as I was doing the articulation is when I really just started noticing all that grime on the coat. That is cool. Like, they added all the detail. The coat has all these little dirt spots and grime all over it. And then you have his fedora, which does not fit his regular head sculpt. Obviously, it's not made for that. But I just figured I'd show you guys anyway. I thought it was a little funny looking the way it looked on him. But the fedora itself is nice. The sculpting, the paint, everything looks like, I don't know, I guess it's a leather hat, because it looks leather. I'd have to rewatch the movie. I don't know if it's leather or like a felt type material in the movie. It looks leather on the figure, but either way, the paint is nice, and it looks nice, it looks legit, looks real. Again, they put like dirt around all the rims, and then you get 3 mastheads and 4 heads total. So here's one of the 3 mastheads. Pretty cool Rorschach design there. This one may be the most face-like. I don't know. I kind of forget. We'll go through. Oh no, this is definitely the most face-like. Clearly looks like 2 eyes and a mouth. So here we have those 2 side by side. The first one and the second one. I mean, you could see a face in all of them somewhat, but I think number 2 there might be the most face-like. And this one's probably the most weird or non-face-like. So, yeah. Then you have this one with the second one side by side. So 3 different designs for the Rorschach test, Rorschach mask, whatever, however you want to call it. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, for photography, you can have his face always changing, or just change the head up as you like, whichever one you think looks best. And then the fedora, it's obviously made to fit on the masthead, and it fits really well, like perfectly. They sculpted and molded this thing very nicely. You can have it sit different ways if you want and kind of tilt it, but if you push it down nice and snug, it's definitely not going anywhere. It's on there, and you don't have to worry about that falling off at all. I appreciate that. Again, you don't have to have it as snug, and you can change it up per your liking. Oh, and remember when I said earlier I had 2 big problems with this figure? Well, scratch that. this is the biggest problem, is these hand pegs. So one of them broke when I was changing one hand, and then shortly after a couple hand changes, the other one broke, trying to take some pictures. So that's disappointing. Very weak hand wrist pegs. So, I mean, those are easily replaceable and fixed. You could even pop them back in if you just only know you're going to keep those hands on them and not going to take them off. They will stay in place and work for your display, and you can move them up and down. Just pulling them off tends to separate the two parts of the peg there. So yeah, that's a disappointment. But overall, a great figure. If you got it, let me know what you think, or if you're thinking of getting it, let me know. Till next time, peace out, y'all.